The name Job is both a title of a book and a name of a person. Job is known to be one of the giants of faith in the Bible. He is described as one who is blameless. He is one who is also described as one who is upright. A rare person in the current life or world we live in. But this man is not only an upright and blameless man, we also learn that he is also one who fears God and shuns evil. Job is one man whose life will be equated to the richest man in his time, but also a blameless man. Job stands out amidst all the many people who live in his time as one who stood out to stand with his faith. Where else do we find such people? Maybe in the book of Genesis, where we speak of Joseph. Maybe when we talk about people who are able to stand for their faith. Job in his life is tested and tempted to the point where even his closest person, who happens to be the wife, comes to try and test his faith. Beloved of God, the people that surround Job also tempt him to somehow see the guilt that comes in him and probably make him feel as a sinful person. Job will also respond in the book of Job 13 verse 15. He'll say, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, but I will maintain my own ways before him, though he slay me." Job is convinced that whatever circumstance he's facing, whatever loss he has gone through, it is not something that can be equated to what God intends or what God can do in his life. Job will also say in his confession that he knows that his Redeemer lives and that he shall stand at the latter day on the earth. He feared God, he eschewed evil and avoided all these things. In other words, this person abstained or stayed away from sin. Job being the richest, Job being the blameless, Job being the upright man, Job being the one who fears God, has some lessons we can learn this moment. The first one I can just pick very fast to say that trust in God always. The times when we face challenges in our lives, we ought to hold on to things. And sometimes we feel as though that God is not there. We start trusting in our own ways. But in this narrative of Job, we get to a point where we learn that we want to learn to trust in God despite our predicament. Says, the simplicity of the word is this: trust in God, because his ways is always the way. Another point I want to learn today is the fact that you're blameless doesn't mean you're faultless. Job was blameless. Job was upright. Job feared God. But in all these things, he was still able to get into the midst of suffering. So therefore, whenever you face suffering in your life, doesn't mean that you cannot stay away from trouble. Trouble will affect everyone. Trouble affects even those who God loves deeply. Trouble may be as a result of God allowing the enemy to test your faith. But one thing that I pick from this thing also, it's inevitable to know that he still holds on to hope. Hope is one thing that as a Christian we hold on to. Hope is an expecting something that can happen. Hope is holding on to something in the midst of challenges. Then another thing I learned again is silence isn't absence. When God seems silent in your life doesn't mean that God is absent. He's present. He lives. No storm is beyond God's intervention and redirection. God works in the storm and commands lights in the darkness. The book of Genesis begins that says that there was darkness. Then the Bible continues to say, and God commanded light. Whatever darkness you're facing in your life, whatever circumstance that you're going through, it's not beyond God's intervention. Therefore, Job will be troubled, Job will be tried, Job will be in tribulation. But the fact that he has hope, God comes through for him at the end of the story. The enemies are shamed because the storyline ends with a God who wins battles for his children. Today I'm here just to remind you that we can still trust in God, that we can still hope that God is present, that we can still live a life that is blameless, knowing that God is always with us. Pray that God may see you through in your present circumstance. God bless you.